welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the world of Craig. If you've not been here before, hello, and if you're coming back to look at more of the things that I'm getting up to, hello to you too. Now, you can probably tell I'm in a sweater. It's a beautiful autumn day outside, but it is tipping into winter, and we're here in lockdown 2.0. Not sure, still not sure, quite sure what I feel about that, but it's happening and we're getting into it. I hope you guys are all well where you are and everything's going okay. I haven't produced any content on my channel, if I could get my teeth in. I haven't produced any content here on my channel for a while because I've been super busy with lots and lots of different things, which, if you didn't know, you can check out on my Instagram, which is linked here. And of course, I will link it down below in the description box as always. But now I'm here at home alone, it's time to bring you guys some more content. And today, we're going to be talking all about ratios. That's bleach lightener to peroxide developer ratios. Why? Let's find out why. So let it be said that I'm a huge fan of the global bleach out. I often refer to it as bleaching or bleach. You might call it lightener, it's completely fine, whatever you want to call it. They're both the same thing at the end of the day. Now, I think it's always been with me the kind of technical aspect, the technicalness, if that's a word, I don't think it is. The technical aspect of global bleaching. Obviously as well, it involves hair colour, and I'm a huge fan of that. So I get lots and lots of DMs on my Instagram from hairdressers that are a little bit apprehensive or find that they often have to troubleshoot when they're global lightening. Well, I'm going to give you guys today a huge, stop pointing at the camera, Craig. I'm going to give you a huge global bleaching, or just bleach in general, share, a massive top tip. But first of all, let's have a look at some examples of what I get up to with global lightning. Yes, yeah, they are very, very pretty results and lots of fun to do. I will say at this point, often very time consuming. They're not something that I would rush in the salon. I would always book them towards the end of the day. And those beautiful human beings that you've just seen, they are models. They're my in-house models that I use to create content for you guys on here and obviously on my Instagram. Now, let's get into that huge share, that massive bleaching top tip. Okay, so I've waffled on long enough. That was kind of the longest introduction in the history of YouTube, I think. So here we are, one word. And if you remember one word from this video, I'd like it to be this one, ratio. Yes, ratio. Now I talk about ratios a lot in hair color, but also in lightning. And here it is, drum roll. Yeah, cheers would be fine, that's good. It's all about the ratio. So I want you to remember that the power is in your powder or your cream lightener. So your bleach, your lightener that you have, whatever it is you use in salon. My preference has been for the last almost a year has been blonde or granules, but you use whatever it is that you like to use. And your power is in those granules or that cream actual product. It's the bleach that has the power, not the peroxide. A lot of people assume, a lot of hair professionals assume that the stronger the peroxide, the more power that the product has. Yes, the peroxide is the catalyst and it gives it the energy to do the lifting, but let's get into those ratios and see what makes a difference and how it exactly works. So let's start at the beginning with the most powerful ratio, and that is 1:1. So a 1 part developer and 1 part bleach lightener, powder, whatever it is that you are using, a 1:1 ratio will give you the most power, if you like. I always use that word power, energy, okay? So that has the potential to lift the hair the most. We're not going to get into too much about developers' levels of peroxide because there's a video on here, which I will link there, which tells you all about peroxide strength. We're talking here, obviously we're talking about ratios. So a 1:1 ratio will always give you the most energy. Some lightening products are not designed really to be mixed at a 1:1 ratio, and it can make the actual product very thick. I would always use a 1:1 ratio with my preferred product. when I'm lifting someone that's a darker base, or if I'm trying to remove, or if I'm working with a longer regrowth and I don't want to, I want to make sure that I don't get any banding, then I would use a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not widely used, and like I said, sometimes it's tricky with some products, but a 1-to-1, I'm going to ram that home, a 1-to-1 is always going to give you the most energy and potential lift. Now, what comes after 1-to-1? Well, that would be 1-to-2. Yes. Now, this is probably the most used ratio. It's probably the one that most manufacturers recommend for their products. Obviously, each product, differs, and each product has its own guidelines. And I would always suggest with any hair coloring product, any product really, that you follow manufacturer's guidelines. And then when you understand the product and you know how it works, then you can go a little bit, a bit rogue if you like. So a 1-to-2 is the most used ratio. So that's 1 part lightening powder and 2 parts developer or peroxide, however it is you refer to it. Now, this would be something that I would use for a normal bleach regrowth. If someone's got like a 6 to 8 week regrowth, my goodness, we've had a lot longer regrowths than that recently, haven't we, in the salon? I would also use that general ratio for highlighting. So we're talking a lot here about global bleaching, global lightening, but I would also use that mainly for foil highlighting as well, because it's a nice consistency to work with, again, depending on what brand you're using. It gives you a very steady lift, but it can also give you a maximum lift as well if you process it for long enough. So a 1-to-2 is a good kind of solid base level as lift. Now, last but by no means least in this look at ratio, we have what I would call maximum dilution. So that's a 1-to-3 ratio, or it could be a 1-to-4 or a 1-to-5. When would I use maximum dilution? And remember, the more developer or peroxide you use, the more diluted the energy and the power of that lightener is going to be. Now, I would use maximum dilution if somebody's a very light natural base. Say you have a client who's a level 8 and has very, very pale blue eyes and is having a root retouch, I would probably use a 1-to-3 ratio. Yes, it's going to make the product very runny often, not always, but often, but it's still better to use less energy, less power when you just don't need the power, when someone's hair's going to lift very well. It would also be my go-to if I'm cleansing out old toner from pre-existing bleach, or if someone's hair's compromised. And in that instance, I would normally use 20 volume with a 1-to-3 or 1-to-4 ratio. And I'd apply it to dry hair and obviously eyeball it literally every 2 to 5 minutes just to check that the gloss or the toner is lifting out and that the hair is not being more compromised. So max dilution is kind of 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-5, depending on what exactly you want to do with it. So to summarize, ratio. A 1-to-1 ratio is always going to give you max lift. And if you want to know more about peroxides, then you can obviously watch the companion piece video to this, which is here on my channel. I will link it down below. A 1-to-2 is the most used, and it's going to be the one, well, it's the one that I use the most anyway, and I'm sure that a lot of you out there will be a 1-to-2 people, if you like. 1-to-2 people? Yeah, you know what I mean. And then a 1-to-3 is the most, well, it starts to get down the road of being more diluted, so less energy, less power, ultimately gentler to the hair, but won't get you as much lift as the other two. Now, something else that's really important to remember, and I'm sure all of you watching this know that already, please, always take into account the canvas that you're working on, the condition of the hair that you're working on, and the integrity of the hair as well. Bleach is an amazing product. Bleach lightener, don't want to upset anyone, is an amazing product, and you can do incredible things with it. And it really is, there's nothing for me that's quite as satisfying. Well, I love all of it, but there's nothing that's quite as satisfying as a really beautiful, seamless global bleach out. But always go steady. Don't walk away from lightener that's been on the hair for a little while. Keep checking it. And as I said before, please follow manufacturer's guidelines until you kind of know the product and understand it really well. And then you can kind of make it your own and run with it. There we go, a simple summary. So that's it for our look into ratios. I hope you find this video helpful, and if you do, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a like, yes, the old dad thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that bell, because that makes sure that you will see everything that's coming here on my channel, and there's lots more planned. Oh yes. Of course, if you want to see what I get up to with my day-to-day with hair, then you can check out my Instagram, which is appearing here on the screen. There's loads and loads more free education on there. Lots of fun stuff as well. Some IGTV videos. There's even some reels, obviously. But that leaves me to say thank you so much again for watching. That's a Christmassy smelling candle. There's a little robin redbreast in this snow globe as well. Yeah, check me out. I'm going to go and lay on the sofa and listen to Christmas music and maybe even have a mince pie. Yes, I know it's early, but I'm like Christmas crazy. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.